You come back to the second part of making the James Gibbs exterior elevation simple version using the constructing exterior handout, which more or less has all the recipe. So I was at the fun part of my construction, and that was the layout. I matched in the earlier video, I showed you where a true measurement can be taken, and everything else, though, is skewed, so it's not going to be a true measurement. To be honest, I tried an earlier one, and you can kind of see the results. With that cone of vision, I learned that I had pulled this side in too much, and this ended up being more of a square. But the nice thing about this method is when you make this little model, you can kind of see what works best. And this is getting more length along this exterior, making it more of a vertical appearance. And this part is skewed, so it gives me more what I'm looking for. And now comes the fun part. So let's get started. We're going to, what I've done is I've looked at key parts of the building, which is this step leading into the first main room. This is below ground, so I have this listed here. The ground plane looks a little iffy. Let's reinforce it. Ground plane. So it wasn't going off script. I had a little extra room to work with. And now there's the ground. Okay, so the next one is that platform is going to be this height, and I'm going to do that vanishing point coming here. It's not going to show much difference because it's very level. And then I'm going to unite that with the right vanishing point. And this is going to be this marker. We're going to work our way up the building. One thing you could do, if you didn't exactly know where the second floor started, you could do that lateral to lateral and take the midpoint, which is one of our secrets. And then that's going to be where I will put the second floor. So let's take our viewpoint left, viewpoint right. I'm trying not to commit too dark of a line. And that was a little dark. That's probably more appropriate. Let's find the cornice. So let's take our cornice point. I'm doing 90 degrees from that edge. This is going to be what you might call the roof line. Roof line and roof line. A lot of good things are happening because now I can use laterals to find the midpoint. Let's see if we can tackle this roof though. This looks a little hard to do. So, because it steps back. The only true thing I know is I know where it peaks out. So it's possible. We're gonna give a little thickness to the roof. So let's come down here, do the same thing. We're establishing the cornice. Cornice and foundations are very important parts of older style buildings, and they're actually kind of like a hat and shoes, and they're very nice to have. And then I'm going to send things, since I know that it starts a little bit behind this, put that there, and then it goes, it's going to meet that point. So let me see if this is giving me what I want. That looks pretty good. And then this one, I'm going to back off from the cornice back a little. These are guesstimates because I don't have all the numbers in for this. Plus, it's going to do another thing. That's incorrect. Actually, this is going to follow this. I would say this is like playing pool. You kind of know when you made a mistake if you can't see it. I mean, like if it pops out, because here's what's happening. I need to replicate this, and this looks to be about a 45. So if I had a little 45, then I would just take it from here and cut up like we did our sun shadows, like that. That's looking pretty good. Okay, let's find the middle. Let's find the cornice of this. And so one trick we can do, let's make sure that you're able to see, is from the plan this juts out. So that's what this is. Okay. And you may not know that right offhand. This is the inner portico. So let's go from end to end so we can find the middle. One. We're making an X from end to end. Gives us a nice place to find a middle. We're going to come back with a 90-degree. Scoot up a little. So you can see that if I find a flat edge, I can make a ridge line. And that's going to help me determine this. Okay, the fun and risky part is when you start translating these. So we're going to remember our station point, which is where we want to measure station point to get these items. And I'm going to create everything in this geometric box. Give me some room. Then I'm going to take it, and this hits the picture plane. These are very important parts. I can carry these down, and let's do that using a 90-degree right on that ground plane or someplace that has 90 degrees. So we're going to bring this down. I'm going to go very lightly on the watercolor paper until where I really need it, which is right here. And then next one, bring it down. Next one, coming from here, ground plane, bring it down. Okay, so now I have something to work with. The cornice is going to sit on this, and now let's make it into a rectangle, meaning let's take it back to its geometric shape, and let's clean up around it. We can clean up some things here. You can kind of see how it protrudes out. And check our time. We're still doing good. We found the middle, so let's do a station point to the middle, and we can get that peak. And wherever these two come in contact, picture plane down, ground plane anchored at 90 degrees. I'm locating the peak, and it's a little higher than this, so we have to come back to our plan, and we have to say that pinnacle 90 degrees, please. Okay, I'm looking ahead to my sight line. I've chosen that, and now it's a matter of working independently of all of these points and just kind of doing a perpendicular line. This is where your rolling ruler would help. Roll it out. 1 second. Okay, just had a question on a Revit model, but let's finish up. I found the peak, and then it's going to be from the backboard where that last is seen. We have a very nice additional column area. We can call this part out. So we're going to do a lot of clacking here. Station point to find out the thickness of that, and I'll do a 90-degree off the top of the picture plane. So as you can see in rendering, when I told you I always have to use this and that, now I'm walking back my statement. It looks like I'm doing this just as you would without actually using the T-square all that much, using more of the size. And this comes down to the ground plane too. Okay. So I do have this solemn column. The column, we found the edge and it's going there. And if I want to get fancy, then now I can have the extra plinth. Go to this. Okay, so that's one of the blocks here. And let's make sure that you are see that. This block here. And then I can locate this one. And then it's a matter of doing all these things like this. Okay, so this goes to station point here. And now it's getting so small. Start getting into the issue. Well, uh, you're almost to the point where you're adding a detail and you can't really see it. So there's one. That's the plinth. Okay, I'm going to erase this because I know stairs run up here. And I'd get rid of all this and kind of see it. And now I would put in the stairs by doing the top and the bottom, but for now I'm going to do a 45, kind of show the stairs going up and the landing is there. Okay, so I'm starting to carve into things, and it looks okay. So we can kind of tell that you really need that a larger image would really help. But for my tiny one, I've kind of got things laid out. These columns are a little bit sketchy, so I might have to use some artistic interpretation. Uh, and then as I clean it up, and then some things I can still do. I can still locate the windows, or at least the window placement and ground plane. And you're going to take each window off of this. And because of the tininess of it, I'll probably just do one line and then kind of fudge it, sort of. So we can do that. Let's see. Okay, so we got enough time to do things. Let's locate also first floor window, bottoms is here, and then here, there. And then as you can see, you just have to keep your mind correct as to where all of these parts, what lines mean what. And then use your diagonals to divide things, to help you create an equal distance. Uh, it, Classical architecture is all about that nice equal distance placement. And you always learn a lot of things that you think you knew it, but you don't really know what happens. And what I'm speaking of is the windows. I didn't know there were five. I thought there were six. And having to go and count as you draw up here, you can kind of get confused, but you kind of see things you didn't notice before. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this out. I think this will be a nice, tiny thumbnail little print. Uh, Kind of looks like I'm creating my own dollar bill backing. It reminds me of a dollar bill. So some of this doesn't exist, and then I'm going to keep fleshing this out with the time I have left. Still moving along, and as you go along, you'll start to see where you took a line that you thought was there because it made it good, but I readjusted this. This is a little bit more truncated, and I'm still working my way. I can get all the windows in. And to show you how crazy it gets, I need to locate the chimneys, and then so I need to locate the fireplace, and I'm going on the interior. Wait a minute. So they have many fireplaces here, so that's not going to help. So the next thing I'm going to do is, I think, see, I didn't notice before, but some are forward and some are backward. So I will just choose one in the middle. I will choose these two, and that will help. Level has been achieved, and then now I'm going to take smaller tools and I'm just going to build off the existing forms, looking at the example, and then try to interpret what it's going to look like. And I thank you for watching, and I will post the finished one very soon alongside this.